Om Akyanatimonasya Chananshana Shanaka Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Chitchaitanyamanopistam Staptam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadam Yam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Shri Uda Padkamalam Shri Vaishnavamsa Shri Upam Jagajatam Saganarahanatam Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivshakam Pitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Chatpati Gopesha Kopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanashve Vishabhanu Satadeve Pranamama Hari Priya Vaka Kalpta Visha Kripa Sinve Visha Patnam Pavanvyo Vaishnavyo Namo Nama Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane. Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachani Dasatane Srila Prabhupada Ki. Someone put on the mic, maybe. I think the amplifier is not on. Yeah. Okay. So we have first just heard the 4 essential verses of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, as Arjuna has also heard these verses from Krishna. After hearing these 4 verses, his doubts are cleared. And he's going to address Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then after that, Arjuna will express his hearing. Arjuna expresses his eagerness to hear more about how he can see Krishna in this world. And so Krishna replies, yeah, I will show you some of my main opulences, but my own opulences are limitless. So I will show you only a few that, he will show like he's the chief of every group of living entities. He will say, among the trees, I'm the banyan tree. Among the shark, on the fish, I'm the shark, and so on. And we will hear all these opulences. We won't have much to comment on this, although I may make some comments related to the Bhagavatam to these opulences. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Uvacha. Param Brahma Param Dhamma. Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Purusham Sasvatam Divyam Adidevamajam Vibhum Austvam Rishaya Sarve Devakshi Naradastata Ashito Devala Vyasa Svayam Sheva Bhavishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the internal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the great sages. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyas, confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me." So Arjuna is telling Krishna, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead," and he backs up with authorities who support this statement. All these sages have declared the Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That in the beginning of the purport, Srila Prabhupada makes the point. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the Mayavadi philosophers. For here it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Yes, that little further. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. So whatever Arjuna says in these two verses is confirmed by the Vedic truth. It is only by devotional service that one can understand his position and get rid of the material body. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless one surrenders to the Supreme Lord, remains infected. Krishna is the vaccine, is the purifying factor. So now the last paragraph. So if we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these two verses. This is called Parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. And then here, it is not possible by so-called academic study. That let's jump ahead. It is not possible by so-called academic education. That text 14. Sarvam metaritam manye yanmam vadashike shava naiti bhagavam vyaktim vidurteva nadanava. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Arjuna affirms the statement made before by Krishna that the faithless cannot understand. Faithless cannot make progress in devotional service. So the faithless and the demoniac, they cannot understand Krishna. And we have heard before, Nati Vitu Suragana, even the demigods cannot understand Krishna. We can only understand Krishna by the grace of the Supreme Lord, in the same way that Arjuna has understood it. But to understand Krishna, one has to go to the parampara, disciplic succession. the Bhagavad Gita should be understood through the Parampara system. So when the disciplic succession was lost, Arjuna was selected to revive it, 4.2 Bhagavad Gita. Because and in 4.3, Krishna said, I selected you because you are my friend and my great devotee. Therefore, because you are sinless, you can understand that. So then, if we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, then we can understand the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then fifth, there is a quote here, verse 14. Yeah. Can someone read it as a spiritual master?
As a spiritual master is a representative of Krishna, similarly a student must also be the representative of Arjuna. Then the Bhagavad Gita discussion will begins. What is Arjuna's position? In this chapter, we will say seven people become Krishna. My dear Krishna, whatever you are speaking, I accept. So that should be the process of understanding Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita. Not that I don't like this, so I will reject this portion. I like this portion, therefore I accept it. This way of studying the Bhagavad Gita is useless, nonsense. Whatever you have said, I accept it. So to become a representative of Krishna is not very difficult. Simply one has to become very sincere, just like Arjuna accepted. My dear Krishna, whatever you are speaking, I accept it all into him without any reformation. That is a true representative of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amara Anaya Haya Tara Yesu Yare Dekha Kare Neha Krishna Evolution Amara Anaya. One has to carry out the order of God. He is Krishna representative.
Thank you. Now text 15. 15. Swayammevatmanatmanam Vetatvam Poshottama Bhuttavavana Bhuteshu Devam Devachatpate. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your eternal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, the Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. So, the first line of the purport, the Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers, in a relationship with him. That's interesting. Then further, it is said, Tabhavana. Yeah. Therefore, this is in the middle of the purport. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottam. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entity. Therefore, Krishna addresses him as Buddha Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all living entities, still one may not know that he is a supreme controller. And therefore is addressed here as Bhuteshu, Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. That at the end, he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, understand Krishna as he is. 16. Bhaktam rasa sheshena divya yatma vibhutaya yabir vibhutibir lokan imam stvam vyapya tishtati. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So Arjuna is asking to Krishna, show me you are all pervading. I want to see how you are all pervading. Please show me your all pervading nature. That show how you, Krishna, how you exist in this all pervading aspect to different energies. That is the question. That 17. Katam vidyamaham yogins tvam sada parashintayan kesha kesha bhaveshu sinchyoshi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Near to the end of the purport here, that the common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. That because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. That so by asking Krishna to describe his opulences, Arjuna is factually opening for his intention is to open for the common man, for us, understanding how Krishna is all pervading. Yes? Yeah. How is all pervading? Materialists cannot understand Krishna. So they are advised to concentrate on material things and how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. 18. Vistarana atmano yogam vibhutim shanardana bhuya kataya tiptirhi shimvatanasti memritam. O Janardan, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I'm never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. That is 18. That is very eager, Arjuna, to hear. That in the purport, few lines before the end, one never tires of hearing about Krishna. That in fact, spiritual activities are never tiring. Material activities make you very fatigued. 19. Krishna is replying that it starts with Hanta. Hanta. It's translated as yes, but it also another meaning. Hanta is very affectionate. It's very affectionate. Yes, my dear. Like that. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hantite Katarishyami Divya Iyatma Vibhutaya Pradanyata Gorashasta Nastyanto Vistarasyame. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, he says, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. That, yes, the Srila Prabhupada writes, the senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. The very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus the devotees enjoy them. It is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. And at the end of the first paragraph, Vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. So therefore, this chapter is also called the Vibhuti chapter, the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord. So it starts with a whole list up to the end of the chapter of how it can be perceived in this world that so I think it's good to remember that at least 5 or 10, there are many. I didn't count them, but I think there are like 80 of them. Because he mentioned many in one verse. Ahamatma kuta kesha sarvabhutas sayastita Amadisamatyamsa Bhutanamanta Evasha. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So, how to understand that, Krishna? Srila Prabhupada explains that in the purport. Yeah. In the purport. So yeah, Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesh, conqueror of the darkness of sleep. When we're spiritual advanced, he sleeps less because his activities are always fresh, are not tiring. That the Srila Prabhupada suggests, when I feel tired, I go to sleep, but he didn't sleep much. That yeah, that's so. That is at the end of the first, or in the middle of the second year. There is Atma, the soul of the Mahatattva, the universal elements. That so Krishna is the Atma, not only in our body, but also the Atma of the universe. Interesting. So further, we have experience that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul Krishna enters. So he enters as Kshirodakasaya Vishnu in every atom. Antaryami, the Paramatma. At the end, the Supreme Lord Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean of Asma Vishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestations, and the end of all energy. This for us mostly very abstract. That so Krishna is the super soul of the Mahatattva, each universe, and also is in the heart of every living entity. He is a source maintainer of everything. Baladev Vidyabhushan say in this verse 20, Krishna says that this is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. This refers to all sentient beings. In verse 32, Krishna says that he's also the beginning and middle and end of every non-sentient creation. Interesting. Not only sentient, also non-sentient. So understanding, we must understand Krishna is also the soul of the super soul of the universe, or the soul of the universe. So continue. We will read many opulences. Adityanam maham Vishnu Jyoti Samravyaram Suman Maritshir Marutam Asmi Nakshatram Aham Sasi. 21. Of the Adityas, I'm Vishnu. Of the lights, I'm the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I'm Maritshi. Among the stars, I'm the moon. Purport. So Srila Prabhupada writes further. The moon is one of the stars. And then the sun is one. As by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates. So also do the stars. Since Bhagavad Gita indicates here that the moon is one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns, but are similar to the moon. Interesting. 21. 22. Vedanam samavetosmi devanam vasava indriyana manashasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Of the Vedas, I'm the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I'm Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I'm the mind. And in the living beings, I'm the living force, consciousness. So of the Vedas, I'm the Samaveda. There are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, and the Samaveda. The Samaveda is very beautiful to hear when and it is said when Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu, when he flies, his wings makes the sound. His wings makes the sound of the Samaveda. It's a whole concert when Garuda flies. Nice. But it's nice to hear. When I studied this, you can go on the internet, Samaveda recitation. You will hear. It's very nice. That 22. But then, yeah, there is the Samaveda. But I'm Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I'm the mind. And in living entities, I'm the living force consciousness. But then Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, short purport, the difference between matter and spirit is that matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter. So consciousness cannot be produced. It's eternal. Our consciousness of the soul is eternal. Sometimes it's covered over. It's eternal. Like when we sleep, you have 2 kinds of sleep. You have swapna, dreaming, and sutsupti, deep sleep. In deep sleep, then the subtle body is not active. But in sutsupti, the mind is active. In swapna, dreaming, the mind is active. But in sutsupti, in deep sleep, the subtle body rests also. And we need that rest. especially the Buddha needs rest. Otherwise, you cannot function. If you did not have deep sleep in the night, you don't feel rested in the morning. But if you got a deep sleep and you wake up, you say, I had a good sleep. I feel rest. I had a good sleep. So you remember you had a good sleep. So there was even consciousness in deep sleep. Otherwise, you cannot remember that you had deep sleep. That's interesting. That, of course, yeah. Spiritual consciousness, this ignorance of sleep is not there. This is an unnatural. That 22, we have a quote on 22. Yeah. It's a conversation between Prabhupada and Dr. Patel. These conversations are always interesting. Prabhupada, the Samavedas mean the realization of God by singing, by music. That is Samaveda. Dr. Patel, by music, I'm the soul of the music. Prabhupada, yes, therefore Hari Kirtan. Hari Kirtan is Samaveda, glorifying the Supreme. That is stated in some other places. Yad Brahma Varundrana Rudra Stuvanti Divyai Staver Sankapada. Dr. Patel, Kamopanishadar Gayanti Yam Samaga. Prabhupada, Gayanti. So Gayanti chanting is following the Samaveda. And Samaveda, Krishna says, I'm especially the Samaveda. That, okay. We hear more opulences. Text 23 to 26. We'll read. Rudranam Sankrashasmi Vitesho Yakshi Rakshasam Pasamam Pavakasashmi Meru Sikarinam. Of the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. So Brahma created the Rudras, Lord Shiva was one of them. That 9 Rudras he created. It's one of the. It's interesting. I'm Lord Shiva, Lord of the Yakshas, but that's, of course, the first living entities Brahma created were the 4 Kumaras. And he was meditating on processes of liberation when he created them from his mind. He creates living entities from his mind. It's in the Bhagavatam. And he was concentrating and meditating on Sankhya, Yoga, and he was meditating on renunciation and on tapas. And he created the 4 Kumaras. So that's by his meditation, he attracted these liberated souls, or practically liberated souls. And the 4 Kumaras had the form of 4 young children, and they decided to remain eternally children. And remain celibate. And what Brahma, what was the instruction he got from the Supreme Lord? You should you should engage in the procreation of the population, get the population, populate the universe. And he asked his sons to help him. And these 4 Kumaras said, "Niet, no, we don't want." And Brahma became angry. And from his anger, he could not keep his anger inside. And anger came out in 9 Rudras. And these 9 Rudras, they were, of course, anger is ignorance. They represented the mode of ignorance, especially Lord Shiva. He's in the mode south of the mode of ignorance. Of course, what happened at that moment, that because Lord Shiva is he's in charge of the mode of ignorance, but he's responsible for the annihilation, the destruction department. And then Lord Vishnu have the maintenance, and Brahma is the creation. But their function of the Sudras, they have to do their service at the end of the creation when annihilation is needed. But they were very enthusiastic. When Brahma asked them to engage in procreation, they followed his order, and soon there were many Rudras, thousands of them, and they started all to destroy him. And Brahma said, "Oh, stop! This is the beginning of the creation." So Prabhupada said, yes, Brahma could create without botheration of a wife, but still he had problems with his children already from the beginning. So he told them, all the soldiers, you come here. And he told them, you should meditate always on Lord Vishnu in your heart. And by that, you will be able to control your anger. So therefore, Lord Shiva is called as Sambhu. He's the best devotee because he always meditates on Krishna in the heart. Of course, Lord Shiva is not it is not an ordinary living entity like us. So we have, that's explained by our acharyas. It's not Shiva Tattva, it's Shiva Tattva. So Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities. Krishna has 64, 4 unique qualities. Then Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities, and Lord Shiva has 55 qualities, and the living entities has 50 qualities. So it's 55 qualities. It's not a Shiva. They can have maximum 50 of the qualities. And it's not Lord Vishnu either, because Krishna has 64 qualities, and Vishnu is 60. So it is explained, Shiva is Krishna who comes in contact with the universe, with matter. He controls matter. He comes in contact. That like milk, when milk comes in contact with acid, curd is produced. So Lord Vishnu is milk and he's curd. Is Krishna in contact with matter. There is a special position that is Shiva Tattva, is not Vishnu Tattva. Is also not an ordinary human being. So that's all explained in the Bhagavatam. Is the Lord of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I'm Kubera, is Lord of wealth, the demigod who is as the department of the treasury. He is in charge of all the wealth, and we of course we know his 2 sons, Nala Kubera, Manigriva, during Kartik. And of the Vasus, I'm Agni, and of the mountains, I'm Mero. The Vasus, I'm Agni, the demigod Agni. But we know that Bhishma Dev in his previous life was also Vasu. I think he was the eldest of 7 Vasus. And then I think at a certain time, these Vasus, yeah, the head Vasu was Jai. And his wife said to Jai, this Vishwamitra, I think it was Vishwamitra, not sure, a great sage, and he had a Kamadenu, a wish-fulfilling goal. And the his wife said, "Oh Jay, if we would have this Kamadenu, then all our problems are gone. That it gives us so much key for sacrifices and so on." So and she convinced Jay and the other Vasus to steal this Kamadenu. So they stole the Kamadenu of the sage, and then the sage cursed them to fall down to the earth and become ordinary human beings. So these sages, they went with this Vasus, they went to the sage and begged him for forgiveness. He said, okay, 6 of you will have only a short life on the earth. But the main culprit was Jai, the leader. And he should go for a full life on the earth. And the other Vasus decided, we transfer all our power to Jai. That because he will have to go a whole life. And he took birth as the son of Ganga. And Santana, I think, and he became Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev was a Vasu in his previous life. And on the mountains are Meru. Meru is described in the 5th canto that somewhere in the middle of the universe, that Shambhudvip and have Mount Meru. Good. Text 24. Purodasam samukhyam mam vidiparta virashpatim senaninam aham skanda sarashim asmi sagara. Of the priests, Arjun, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya, and of the bodies of water, I am the ocean. Yeah, of priest Arjun, of priest is Brihaspati. Brihaspati was the spiritual master of the demigods. He was also the spiritual master of Uddhav. Uddhav was a disciple of Brihaspati, and Uddhav was very learned. That of generals I'm Kartikeya, and of the bodies of water I'm the ocean. Then Maharshinam Brihuraham Kiramasmi Kamaksharam Shakhnanam Chapachyosmi Stavaranam Himalaya. Of the great sages, I am Brihu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifice, I am the chanting of the holy name, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. So Krishna is in the purport. That of all transcendental vibrations, Om represents Krishna of all sacrifices. The chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the purest representation of Krishna. Good. 26. Asvata Sarva Vikshanam Devarshinam Sanarada Kandandarvan Sitrarata Shidanam Kapilo Muni. Of all trees, I'm the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods, I'm Narad. Of the Gandharvas, I am Sitrarat, and among perfected beings, I'm the sage Kapila. So we have the teachings of Lord Kapila in the third canto. That whole story is there. Of course, Narada appears in all cantos of the Bhagavatam. You find Narada. Narada travels everywhere. And he has many disciples in the Bhagavatam. One of disciples of course, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, so Migrari the hunter. There's so many disciples, all kinds of disciples. That's Narada, the greatest devotee of the universe. Thus is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. Of course, the Gandharvas, they are famous dancers and poet singers. Narada was in his previous life Upabarana, also Gandharva. They are very powerful. Because at one time in the Mahabharata, when the Pandavas were in exile, at that time, at a certain moment in the story, Duryodhana is captured by the Gandharvas. And Bhima said, okay, good. But Yudhishthira said, no, he's our brother. And we must assist him. So they started to fight with the Gandharvas. And they liberated Duryodhana. It was a fierce fight. Because Duryodhana was captured by them. Very powerful also. Gandharvas. That's 20. That was 26, 27. But 26. Nara means mankind or spiritual. Da means giving or granting. Narada, who has disciples all over the universe, gives God to everyone. The meaning of Narada. 627. Ushai Sravasam Ashvanam Vidimam Amrito Bhavam Airavatam Kachandranam Naranam Sanradipam. Of the horses, know me to be Ushaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean of nectar. Of all lordly elephants, I'm Airavata, and among men, I'm the monarch. So, in 8th canto, we get the story of the demons and the demigods. These are not small demons, big demons. That demons, we can say. And they made a truce, some peace agreement. And they agreed we will cooperate together to churn from the ocean of milk the nectar of immortality. And then we will divide it honestly. Of course, the demons were thinking when the nectar comes out, we grab it. And And they cooperated, but when they needed to move the Mount Meru in the middle of the Milk Ocean, and a few died on the way. It was very heavy. And then they got, but they needed first Kurma, the tortoise incarnation, to sit on the bottom of the ocean, because otherwise Meru would disappear. And so they put it on the back of Kurma. And for Kurma, it was like, it was relieving his itching sensation. It was good. And then they started to, then they got Vasuki, the serpent, and used Vasuki as a churning rod. Of course, first they asked Garuda to go because his food is serpents. And then they started to churn, and the demigods at the front side and the demons at the back side. And they started to churn, and then the demons said, no, that cannot be. We are great scholars of the Vedas and so on. We should not be at the backside. Hey, let us take the front side. And Lord Vishnu said to demigods, let us exchange. Okay, they changed position. And then they continued churning, but then fire came out of the mouth of Vasuki and burned half of the demons who were in front. Anyway, they started churning, and then the first thing that comes out of the Milk Ocean is poison. And so much poison came out. They had to get rid of this poison. So they were discussing, how do we get rid of this poison? Lord Vishnu said, I will ask Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva agreed. So he came out the Milk Ocean and drank the ocean, all the poison, but he kept it in his neck. And there's still a blue spot there for Lord Shiva. He's keeping it there. Okay, that was solved. Then they continue churning. And then so many things came out. Usaisrava came out, which is mentioned here. And also Airavata came out. And of course, then the goddess of fortune came out with a garland. And she was going to garland her husband. And all the demons and demigods were thinking, oh, maybe she will choose me. But no, she said, you have all defects. I cannot marry you. And she gave the garland to Lord Vishnu. Anyway, but that's related to the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam, that all the points made here are there. Yeah. Because the 2 animals were produced from the nectar. They have special significance as representative of Krishna. Good. 28. Ayudanamam vachram denunamasmi kamaduk vachanasasmi kandarpasarpanamasmi vasuki. Of weapons, I'm the thunderbolt that among cows, I'm the Surabi. Of the cause of procreation, I'm Kandarpa, the god of love, and of the serpents, I'm Vasuki. This thunderbolt, the thunderbolt of Indra. We find out also in the Bhagavatam how this was constructed, this thunderbolt, a whole history in the Bhagavatam. But, so, and then Kandarpa, the god of love. So Srila Prabhupada writes at the end of the purport here. Sometimes sex is engaged in only for sense gratification. Such sex does not represent Krishna, but sex for the generation of good children is called Kandharva and represents Krishna. Okay, 29. 28. The serpents mentioned in verse 28 relate to one-headed snakes. The nagas referred to in verse 29 are many-hooded. So now we read 29, many-hooded. Ananta shasmi naga nam varuna yada samham. Pitrinam aryamasasmi yama sama matam ami. Of the many-hooded nagas, I'm Ananta, and among the aquatics, I'm the demigod Varuna. Of the Parthan ancestors, I'm Aryama, and among the dispensers of law, I'm Yama, the lord of death. The purport. There are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants, and among them, Yam is his chief. Yam is situated in a planet near this earthly planet. After death, those who are very sinful are taken there, and Yama arranges different kinds of punishments for them. So Yamaraj is one of the Mahajans. In the 6th canto, we hear about Yamaraj and his teachings to the Yamadutas that Yamaraj, in Krishna's classrooms, I think it's Vidura, Yamaraj, that he was, because Yamaraj was cursed by Manduka Muni. Manduka Muni, in his youth, he had used a little wooden thing, like a nail or something, and he was pushing it in a rectum of an ant. Therefore, when he was brought before Yamaraj, he was going to be pierced with a lance. And Manduka Muni said to Yamaraj, I was just a child. I didn't know what I was doing. So I curse you to become a Sudra and take birth as a human. And therefore, Yamaraj became Vidura for one lifetime. Of course, that was Krishna's arrangement, because he needed some break from his service. But we can say, well, what happens when we go to Yamaraj? When the devotee asked Bhakti Maharaj, what if we come before Yamaraj? Of course, Yamaraj said to the Yamadutas, you should not approach devotees, those who wear tulsi beads. So always wear your tulsi bead. And those who are chanting the names of Krishna, stay far from them. But still, suppose we come before Yamaraj. And Bhakti Sharma said, Yamaraj? When you come before Yamaraj, you will see Yamaraj's tilak. What will you say? Hare Krishna. And he will see that you want to become a devotee. So he will take you to your house and read the Bhagavatam for you. So it's good to go to Yamaraj. It's one of the 12 Mahajans. So that's good association for us. But Yamaraj will see our situation. So we don't have to be afraid from Yamaraj. 30, the last verse from this section. Pralada sasmidetyanam kala kalayatamam vishyanam samihyantoham vainateya sapakshinam. Vainateya is another name of Garuda. When I go to Prague, always that Vainateya Das comes to pick me up. He drives everyone like Vishnu drives. It's like Garuda drives Vishnu. he's a driver. That Vainateya. Among the data demons, I'm the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers, I'm time. Among beasts, I'm the lion. And amongst birds, I'm Garuda. So the sons of Aditya are called Adityas, and the son of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. Although Prahlad Maharshi was born in the family of the Daityas, he was a great devotee from his childhood. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered representative of Krishna. So Prahlad, that is the best among the data demons. That I'm subduer of time. I'm of the subduers. I'm time. Everyone has to surrender to time. That among beasts, I'm the lion, the king of the animals, and among the birds, I'm Garuda. Many stories about Garuda. He had a half brother, Kalia. And that's our story that we can read in the 10th canto when you study the 10th canto. So we are in the first part. We will now have a break till 12:15. 12:15. I invite you to come back to hear the second half of Krishna's opulences. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we continue with verses 31 to 42. 31. Pavana Pavatam Ashmi Rama Shastra Vitam Maham Shasanam Makarashasmi Shrotasammasmi Janavi. Of the purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Ram. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Fishes, I am the shark. Yes. And the Ganges, of course. So Krishna continues with his description of his opulences. In total, he will name 82 opulences in this chapter. There are 3 or 4 in each verse. So Krishna summarizes by explaining that these opulences indicate his glory, but it's only a splendor, a fragment of his potency. That's what he explains in this verses. Verse 32. Sarganam madhyantasya madhyam shaivam archana atyatma vidya vidyanim vada pravadatam maham. So of all creations, I'm the beginning and the end and also the middle, Arjun. Of all sciences, I'm the spiritual science of the self. And among logicians, I'm the conclusive truth. So the spiritual science of the self, Bhagavad Gita. And among logicians, I have the conclusive truth. 32. In the purport, in the second last paragraph, Srila Prabhupada writes that of these, the book which represents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, in particular, the Vedanta Sutra represents Krishna. Okay. So Krishna will refer also to Vedanta in the 13th chapter, 13:5, I think. We'll see that. Then 33. Aksharam akarusmi dvanta samasikasya sa amme vakshaya kalo data ham vishvato mukam. The letters of the letters, I'm the letter A, and among compound words, I'm the dual compound. I'm also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I'm Brahma. So we vote akara, the letter A, nothing can be sounded, Krishna says. That's the basis of all sound, that the beginning of sound. And then he gives examples of these compound words. That in Sanskrit there are so many compound words, of which the dual words, like Ram Krishna, is called Bandva. In this compound, the word Ram and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is called dual. The dual compound. Rama, Krishna. Now 34. Matyo sarva saham ubhavasa bhavishatam kirtishir vakshan harinam smiti medha triti chama. I'm all-devouring death, and I'm the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I'm fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Patience. I'm all-devouring death. Krishna will all say in the next chapter, I'm time. And my mission is to kill everyone. And all devouring death. Says also that. So as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. So practically, we are dying every moment, every second. But the last stroke we call death. Yeah. That death is Krishna. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. Yes, they grow, they remain for some time, and then they vanish. They are born, finally they vanish. So we go to the stages. You cannot stop these stages. And scientists try to stop old age, but they cannot. That's not possible. This is Krishna's arrangement. That all the entities are dying at every moment, but the last moment is called death. And Krishna, there are a few quotes on 34. That Krishna, death personified to demons, beloved to devotees. Faithless unbelievers who challenge the appearance of God will be delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he appears before them as death. Atheists think that they are independent and therefore they do not care about the supremacy of the Lord. Yet the Lord asserts his supremacy when he overcomes them as death. At the time of death, their attempts to use their so-called scientific knowledge and philosophical speculation to deny the supremacy of the Lord cannot work. Krishna takes everything away at the time of death. The Lord, in the shape of death, takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Everything in this material world is subject to death in due course of time. Yeah, great. One more. Yamaraj incarnated as Vidura. Here we have it, Vidura, during the time of Krishna's advent, and he was always protecting the Pandavas from danger. This shows that for the devotees, Yamaraj is a cordial friend, and they have nothing to fear from him. We will hear in the Bhagavatam that the sages from Namisaranya, when they start to discuss the Bhagavatam, they invited Yamaraj. Yamaraj was in the audience, then nobody will die. At least during the recitation of the Bhagavatam. So that was their plan. 35 first. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, that's, I don't know in the Sanskrit, but they have the feminine gender. Yeah. It's not really the quality of women, but anyway, my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Maharaj, he always praised the women for their patience. So it may be a good quality of the most. That so 35. Briyat samatata samnam gayatri chanda sammaham mashanam margasirshaham petranam kusumakara. Of the hymns in the Sama Veda, I'm the Briyat Sama, and of poetry, I'm the Gayatri. Of the months, I'm Margasirsa, November, December, and of the seasons, I'm flower bearing spring, that Kusuma Akara. That so that is 35. So Gayatri mantra is very important in the Vedic civilization. It's considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. So the Gayatri is chanted by Brahmins who are liberated, supposed to be liberated. Because they are liberated, their mind is not disturbed by material desires, and they can chant the Gayatri. And if they chant the Gayatri, they are transcendentally situated. But I will read the second part of the purport. There's Srila Prabhupada also. Yeah. So the Gayatri mantra is very important in Vedic civilization. Is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. So, because the Gayatri is especially meant for God realization, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people. That's what I try to explain. And when we attain success in chanting, it can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord, transcendentally situated. But one must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness, according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri mantra. And the last part, the month of November, December is considered to be the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold and the flowers and trees blossom, flourish. In spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastime. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So this is 35, 35, yeah, 36. Dyutam chalyatam asmi teyaste svinamam jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamam. I'm also the gambling of the cheats and the splendid. I'm splendor. I'm adventure, and I'm the strength of the strong. So I'm also the gambling of the cheats. That so Krishna is the greatest cheater also. But I'm adventure. I'm adventure. If you decide to become a devotee, your life becomes an adventure. I can confirm that I'm victory, and I'm the strength of the strong. That in 36, a little further, Krishna speaks. I don't find it on the screen, but the unfortunate commentator who wants to cheat Krishna is cheated by Krishna. And the commentator cannot understand Krishna after any length of time. If we want to cheat Krishna, Krishna is a greater cheater. That 36, 37. This was, but we had quotes, Prabhupada. 35, 36, long quote. I'll read 35 here. Someone else can read 36. When Yudhishthira was in exile, Markandeya Rishi visited them. Yudhishthira inquired, by what practice can a Brahmin always keep himself in a pure condition? Markandeya Rishi said, by chanting the Gayatri 3 times daily, one becomes free from all sinful reactions. For such a person, even inauspicious stars and planets become auspicious, and Rakshasas cannot deny any harm. However, without purity of heart, the chanting of Gayatri, carrying of Tridanda, shaving the head, and practice of other vows and austerities are all useless. One who is sinless at heart, as well as in words and action, is the real ascetic, and not simply he who performs austerities. Yes. Can someone read 36? If you're looking for love. Nice story.
If you are looking for love, Krishna is the supreme lover. And if you want to cheat, Krishna is the supreme cheat. Most of all cheating processes, gambling. There is cheating process. From where does this cheating process come? There is also a cheating process in Krishna because he will be in whatever there is cheating process, thieving process, whatever is condemned in this world is also there in Krishna, but without any condemnation. That is it. When he cheats, he becomes worshipper. Krishna wanted to cheat Dronacharya. That is the fact in Mahabharata. He advised Arjuna, just go and ask this to lie to Dronacharya, saying your son is there. God would not believe Krishna if he said it because Krishna sometimes breaks his promise. But God is good. Therefore, his cheating is good. His stealing is good. Everything is absolute. Gambling requires some expert brain. So the part of expert endeavor is Krishna. We should not think, oh, because Krishna is gambling, let us also engage in gambling and devote ourselves to gambling. No, Krishna is everything, but we have to select favorably or unfavorably. Swalpam kalva idam sat. Swalpam kalva idam. Without Brahma, without Krishna, nothing can exist. Everything is existing on the energy. The same example can be given that every department is a government department. Therefore, if a prisoner says, yes, I am a government department, that's what the phonology is called. Instead of working for the government, make me go to here. We have to select. Krishna is everything. So Krishna says that every place belongs to you. Every town, every place belongs to you. But yet get one, you are there is an eternal Dham from which nobody comes back. That is my supreme Dham. So you have to associate with supreme. Krishna is everything, but you have to associate with supreme, the best.
Thank you so much. Text 37. Vaishninam vasudevasmi pandavanam dhananjaya muninam apyaham vyasa kavinam ushana kavim. Of the descendants of Vishnu and Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas I'm Arjuna. Of the sages I'm Vyas, and among the great thinkers I'm Ushana. So Arjuna is listening and he says, among the Pandavas I'm Arjuna. Of the sages I'm Vyas. Yeah. So Vyas, Srila Prabhupada writes at the end of the purport that Vyas is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyas represents Krishna. Thus, among the Kavis, Usha Sankaracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. Sukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. He was extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician, Sukracharya. The spiritual master of the demons, expert in karma kanda and how to enjoy according to the Vedas, very liked by the demons.
Sanjeevani Vidya, which Prabhupada didn't know.
You know?
Sanjeevani Vidya is how to make somebody back.
Yeah, and he did so. He did so. That mystic powers. That's 38 to 40. Dandomayatam ashmi nityasmi jitsatam maunam shavasi guyanam skyanam gyanavatam aham. Among all means of suppressing lawless and punishment, and of those who seek victory, I'm morality. Of secret things, I'm silence, and of the wise, I'm the wisdom. That was 38, 39. Yachapi sarva bhutanam vitsam tatamarjuna natadasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. That the super soul maintains all their bodies. Nobody can exist without Krishna. That's 39. Then 40, 39. At the end of 39, the purport. Yeah. Whatever exists is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. That's an illusion. Everything is founded on Krishna. Nantasti mamadifyanam vibhutinam parantapa. Isha to the sata pakto vibhutir vistaro maya. Almighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. 40. Simply a few examples. are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitives, Srila Prabhupada writes. But if we go back to the previous purport, that yeah, at the end of the purport there, whatever exists is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya. That which is not. So in the Bhagavad Gita, we have the Chatur-sloki, but you have also a Chatur-sloki of the Srimad Bhagavatam. You find in the second canto, 9, verses 33, 34, 35, 36, I think. And the second verse there of the Chatur-sloki of the Bhagavatam says that everything what is understood to be not connected with me is Maya, is the illusory energy. But everything is connected with Krishna. So to think and see that something is disconnected from Krishna is material vision. Material vision means be disconnected in our consciousness from Krishna. But in reality, it cannot be disconnected from Krishna. So that's the definition of illusion, which is given there. I'll bring that on the screen, then it will be more clear in Prabhupada's words. I'm trying to explain this. So it's Canto 2, Chapter 9, and then 33. That's the first verse. That's it's similar to Hamsarvasya Prabhu. Brahma, it is I, the personality of God, that who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That you will see now is also I, the personality of God, that then after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of God. It's similar. But then the next verse, it speaks about the definition of illusion. Itetamya pratyeta na pratyeta satmani tatvityatmano mayam yatabaso yatatama. Whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, it has no reality. But this is not reality. Knowing it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. So that's the problem with us. We don't see things connected with Krishna. Krishna says, I have an ability in man. If we appreciate the ability in man, in a certain person, then we are mistaken. Because we should not do that. We should appreciate Krishna. How nicely is Krishna using this person as an instrument? The capabilities are not from the person. Krishna gives them. It's Krishna doing as the super soul. So if one thinks I'm so good, I'm doing it, one steals the honor for Krishna because he works to us. So that in that way, we disconnect ourselves from Krishna. We say, this belongs to the person. Krishna is not in the picture. So that's illusion. There's many examples like that. But therefore, Prabhupada says here that whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. But everything is in Krishna's energy. Therefore, it's illusion, not recognizing it. But that's just what I wanted to say. But we go back to the Bhagavad Gita, otherwise we can stay in the Bhagavatam, but will lead us. Yeah, okay. It's 10. And the next one is 42. 42, read 41. That's the last verse. Atavabaunaitena kim jatena tavaryuna Vistabyaham idam krishnam akam sanastito jrat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade this entire universe. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, so, all things are existing due to Krishna entering as the super soul. So without Krishna, nothing can exist. Whether it's living entities or matter, cannot exist. So he is the origin of everyone born further, and no one is greater than him. Therefore is Asvamortva. You note that out for your exam. What is the meaning of Asvamortva? Krishna is Asvamortva. No one is superior to him, and no one can be equal to him. Just Asvamortva means two things. No one is superior, no one is equal to him. Which means, yeah. So does Krishna is Asvamortva? You could get that question. Explain Asvamortva. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand with any doubt the position of Lord Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the super soul, which enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Good, now, still 41, still 3. Okay. The point is everything is connected with the Lord. No one is independent, nothing is independent. Can someone read? Yes.
Some people are specifically endowed with powers by the will of the Lord. Same person must know for certain that the living being, however powerful he may be, is neither absolute nor independent. All living beings must accept the origin of their specific power, and if they act accordingly, then simply by discharging their respective occupational duties, they can achieve the highest perfection of life, namely eternal life, complete knowledge, and inexhaustible blessing. As long as the powerful men of the world do not accept the origin of their respective powers, namely the personality of Godhead, the actions of Maya, Yoga.
Thank you. They should accept the origin of their powers. This is Krishna. So any wonderful quality is the Lord's tejas. Who wants to read?
Very wonderful quality is the Lord's stages. The illumination of the planets and stars of the sky is but a partial manifestation of the Lord's intelligence. There are many wonderful qualities of different living entities, but whatever extraordinary things exist are but part of the Lord's stages. He illuminates or creates the deep waves of the sea and ocean and the many other wonders within the creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all become insignificant when the Lord, in his special feature, incarnates within this creation. Everything is insignificant in comparison to his personal all will be considered as common.
Yeah, so even if we have is display great powers, it's only still insignificant. But the devoted's empowerment is the Lord's favor. Who wants to read the last word?
A devotee's performance is the Lord's favor. A living entity, especially if I have to act on behalf of the Lord, is called devotee. Whereas a Vishnu Tattva representative of the Lord, such as Matsya Vara, Keshava, Buddha, Maya Sarita, Jaya Vita, is called Vibhava. We have practical experience of seeing that one person is able to do very wonderful things, whereas another person cannot do those same things and cannot even do things that require ordinary concept. Therefore, in how the world has been favored by the different personalities of Godhead, whom we consider by the activity of the devotees with us.
Yes. When we act in pure devotional service only to please Krishna, and we are very sincere in that and we cooperate for that, then Lakshmi start to cooperate by giving us capabilities and by giving us opulence. Everything will come, but we must have that faith. I remember in 98, I was in Radhadesh. I was a member of the Brahminical Council. And we had this old castle, and we had some rooms for guests, but only a few. So we needed a guest house to receive many guests. And but we had only debts. Debts. No money, no manpower, nothing. But we decided we will build a guest house, a big guest house. And we started to work on it. Some devotees went in fundraising, other devotees contacted the architect, making plans and getting cheap laborers and money came, everything came. 4 years later, the big guest house was there. So that's Krishna. That's especially when you're bound to please Prabhupada's mission. But the condition is only for Krishna, for Prabhupada, nothing for us. Then Krishna empowers that, and we should recognize his empowerment, never thinking ourselves. Yeah, but okay, Krishna has given some of his opulences. Arjuna has heard this, and now he will say, Krishna, I want to see that. How did you enter the universe? I want to see you, your universal form. And that is chapter 11. We will discuss at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much. Jai Prabhupada.